So you can tell by the title of the video, I got a brand new mod for the car, and I've been waiting to do this mod for the car for a very long time. And I finally was able to find exactly what I need to pull this mod off. But before I start that and give y'all the mod, and you can probably tell by the title of the video, we gotta give it a cold start because I haven't started this car in a few days, and I know this cold start might be extra spicy, so let me give y'all that. So we got the car turned around and whatnot, so we're gonna do some work on the car. So if you notice on my car, on the back of the car, I have the most popular mod that every single Dodge Charger owner does. They do this diffuser and 5-inch tips. Now, of course, this looks much better than the factory diffuser and the factory tips that come on the car. The factory tips are super small for this car, and the regular diffuser is just ugly, right? So every Dodge Charger owner do this. But when I did this mod the first time, I even stated that while this is an upgrade for the original, original look of the car, this still isn't my ideal look. My ideal look is to have this car with quad tips, because my Challenger, I had quad tips on my Challenger, and I love the look of quad tips. Now, the reason I didn't do quad tips on this car from the get-go is because to find a diffuser that would accommodate quad tips was kind of the rarest thing, the hardest thing ever to find. There was only one company at the time that had the right diffuser that would accommodate quad tips, and that company wanted $800 for a diffuser, and I wasn't about to do that. Until today, we have found a company finally that will accommodate quad tips for a wide body charger. If you have a slim body charger, you can do this easy. This is a mod that I'm surprised a lot of you slim body charger owners don't do. Very few of you guys do that. Y'all still do 5-inch tips, but you can find a diffuser for a slim body charger just fine for quad tips, but not a wide body charger at all. So here we go. So this is what I got. I got my new diffuser for my car that will accommodate quad tips. I'm gonna go ahead and get it unboxed for you guys so you can see exactly what this thing looks like. So here we go. This is the new diffuser right here. Hope you guys hear me and see me. New diffuser here. So you see the main difference here with this diffuser, mine, same look and all that, gloss black, can't even talk, like I wanted it. Only difference here, this end right here, these ends right here, we have actual hole opening for quad tips that can put in here. Pretty much same material and all that type of stuff. So yeah, that's the first part of this, but we couldn't do quad tips without the actual quad tips. Now for quad tips, we went with MBRP. Of course, if you know my car, I have the MBRP cat back on there. It comes with the 5-inch tips, switch over to quad tips. They do have the quad tips. So if you have a Challenger, you have the MBRP, you automatically get these tips for your car. But this is what we got for mine. It's gonna overall be the same look of my current tips, but in a quad tip design instead. So, got some hardware for it and all that stuff. So this is the tips here. Here's the new exhaust tips gonna go in the car. MBRP on there. I wanted to keep that look because that's the catback I have. Quad tips, of course. This is a 3-inch inlet here because my exhaust is a full 3-inch catback. And right here, these are 4 inches. So this is big. That's how big my quad tips are. Now, I have 5-inch tips on there right now, and I put in quad 4-inch tips on there. So these are gonna still be relatively big for the car. And don't worry, I'm gonna have links for everything that we got, so that way I know a lot of you wide body owners are looking for this type of diffuser. I'm gonna have a link for you guys, so don't worry about that. All gonna be in the description below. First thing I'm gonna do, I'm gonna get my diffuser off, and then I'm gonna go get the quad tips off. Well, not quad tips, my 5-inch tips off here. Now I'm not gonna show you how to get the diffuser off because it's a pretty straightforward process. You got tabs up here at the top, you got a couple bolts and things under the bottom to get it off. So I'm gonna get that off. Should be an easy process. And after I get that off, then I'm going to get the tips off. All right, you can tell we got the diffuser out. So I can show y'all, this is a good point to show y'all the difference in the diffusers here. To get your factory diffuser out, you got 4 7mm bolts. There, and there. And you got these little screws that you gotta pop out on the end right there. So that's pretty much the way to get this out. But here's the difference with the new one. With the new one, unfortunately, we don't have the hose already drilled out, so we're gonna have to drill out some holes when we get this thing mounted on the back of the bumper. But I'm not gonna do that until I know exactly where the holes are. I could maybe match it up to these and do it that way, but no, I'm not gonna do it that way. I'm just going to wait until we get on the car and then go from there. So next thing we're going to do now is, you can see how ugly the back of the car is. I'm gonna go ahead and get the tips off of the car. So that way we'll know that will fit on there, and then hopefully the quad is also fit on here. All right, so we got the tips off as well. The tips, they just take like a 14mm bolt. You can pull the tips off so you can see what we're working with here. Now, the only thing that I worry about right now with using these quad exhaust tips is gonna be clearance right here with this opening. As you can see, this opening is only but so big on both sides. So when I go to put this in here, here's my 5-inch tips here. I'm gonna put these here. They do stick out a little bit, but they only can go but so far like that because of the exhaust piping, so you can see that. So maybe the diffuser will cover up some of that. Let me check, yes. It won't cover up it all, but what I may need to do here is I'm gonna have to get up under the car and get the pipes pushed forward a little bit, just so we can get that more inside of that part right there. I think that's the only part we'll have to do. Here, I feel like I got the clearance enough, like on both sides. Like if you look here, it's a little close right there, but it's not got some space on this side. So if I can just get it and get them angled out about right there and go forward and go back to them, I think we should be fine with clearance. But that's what we're gonna be looking like there. I don't want them sticking out far at all, so we'll see how that looks like after we get done. I think it's gonna stick out too far, but. So I've been out here working on my car. You can see right here, I'll keep getting these notifications right here. We're working on my car, right? See it? Now, I show y'all a lot of mods that I do with my car. But one thing I want y'all to know, this thing's protected. I do a lot of mods, but I got security tight on this car. I'm gonna show y'all what I got with this next part of my video right here. This is my Dodge Charger Scat Pack wide body. It's big, it's loud, it's bright red. It simply grabs attention no matter where I go. Unfortunately, I bought a car that is 60 times more likely to be stolen than any other car on the road. With the long list of mods and things I bought for this car, one of the first things I installed on my car was this. CarLock, the world's best GPS tracker and alert system. With CarLock, you will be able to live track your car with the GPS from your phone. Also, get alerts sent directly to your phone if anything is going on with your car, such as vibrations, engine starting, the car moving when it shouldn't be moving, or if there's a loss of power, your CarLock will get an alert for that as well. Be sure to get your CarLock. Use my link down in the description below and these discount codes to get a 10% discount on your CarLock purchase, as well as a 14-day free trial of the CarLock service as well. Let's get into the video. All right, guys, so I got the diffuser on here, pretty much just snapped in. And if you're looking closer, you kind of see what problem we might run into here with this. So you sit back here, you can see with my car being red and my red bumper that you can, with the opening being much bigger, you can see kind of the red poking here and here. Now when I put my tips on, that's as far as I can get the tips on, right? We'll show you from this angle. That's as far as I can get the tips on. And to me, I'm not about to ride around like that. I'm not about to ride around with the diffuser, well not diffuser, with the tips poking like that. All the red is poking out. I think the look is gonna be pretty good, but unfortunately, this is as far as I can go. I can't go any further. I can't make the tips go any further in without some modifications here. Now, what I'm thinking here, if you do this, you got 2 options for this red. Option 1, take that red, paint it black. That's if you have a bright colored car like mine, paint it black so you can't see the red. Or option 2, this bumper is plastic. Maybe go in there and trim that red back so you don't see the red poking through there. But I already reached out for some professional help on this, and we're gonna pick it up after this. All right, so now it's the next day. So I'm going to exhaust out, like I said before. But what I did was I didn't put my 5 tips back on the car because I didn't want to ride around with exhaust tips in the car. I got the quad exhaust in the trunk or whatnot. So like I said, I'm trying to get them to trim my exhaust on the back a couple inches so that way my exhaust tips don't stick out. And we're gonna go from there. I got a feeling it should be easy, but they're probably gonna say something crazy, but we're gonna see how that goes. So go ahead, y'all get the double coat start this video here. And we're gonna ride up to this exhaust shop. All right, so this is what the predicament we in right now. So we started over here, and my car was too low for this part, so now we had to move it over to the other side here so they can actually work on my car. But pretty much they got to do exactly what I said they're gonna have to do with the back of the car. You're gonna trim the exhaust in the back, make it shorter. Also, the red part that I showed you guys where it's showing the back bumper's got to be trimmed because all the loud cars go by here. The back bumper's got to be trimmed to accommodate the quad tips and stuff like that. You see my quad tips sitting right there, so right there. So it can be done. Just a little bit of custom work that's got to be done to make it fit. This is where the process where we're at now. So if you see with the car, we had to move the diffuser from the back. We got on the other lift now because, like I said before, when I was looking at it, you had to trim here, right there where the exhaust tips are. The opening isn't 100% wide enough to get the quad tips on there, so we have to pull the diffuser off and retrim the whole hole and stuff like that. So once we get that process done, we're gonna be straight in there. So it's a little bit involved versus trying to just throw the tips on and that's it. But we get there. So the diffuser, we have to do with the diffuser when I get home, but you see the quad tips on the back of the Charger. See how the sound comes up. That sounds good, bro. That looks clean. Perfect. Tip stagger just right. All that. Diffuser will do with that when we get home. Pop that in there. Yes, sir. You'll see Widebodies with quad tips on them, but we pulled it off finally. Had to do some trimming, but we're good. Yes, sir. So we got, get that one time. There we go. So we finally look at it right here. So we got the quad tips on as you saw before. You can tell, like, far as everything I did with this video, putting quad tips on a Widebody Charger is a lot more involved than just sticking them on there, right? You gotta get the right diffuser. You gotta trim the inside of the bumper, all that type of stuff to get them to fit. But you can tell we got to fit on there. And to me, it looks really good. Fills up the whole hole. Those are 4-inch on both sides. And you don't see Widebody Chargers with quad tips, like, at all, period. The fitment of the diffuser fits well. I will say this, it is a very rigid diffuser. It gets in there and it's kind of hard to get out. So make sure you're ready to leave it in there. And once you put it in there, it does fit in there pretty well. And y'all know I've been wanting to do the quad tips on my Charger. Like I said, I did it on my Challenger before, and I like the look of it now. $1 million question is, does the quad tips change the sound of your exhaust? I think it's very, very, very subtle how it changes the sound of the exhaust. Now, with me, I drive my car all the time. I know how it sounds. I can notice probably small changes in the tone of it. I feel like it does change the sound of it. Now, if you don't hear my car all the time, you probably won't notice a change, but I think it's a small change in it. And the reason I say there's a change in it, I'm saying, like, I mean, if you take your hand, right, and you put your hand in front of your mouth and you talk through it like this, and then you change the size of your hand and you talk again, it's gonna sound different, depending on how you have your hand in front of your mouth. So I'm thinking, like, if you do that with the exhaust, it's going to sound different. It's more things for it to echo off of inside the tips, So it's gonna sound different. I do think it does sound different. It's not a big change, but it's very, very subtle. Very subtle. It's not gonna be drastic at all. Now with my quad tips, I went with MBRP because I mean that's the catback I have. And you can see here, MBRP, I mean that's my catback, so I wanted to go with these. Now there's a whole bunch of different tips you can go with. Find what works for you, what you want, what style you want, but I went with these. If you don't trim the inside of your bumper, they will not fit in there right, because you saw the issue I had and all that type of stuff. Now I know it's hanging down on this side. I still got to put the retainer clip on this side here. I haven't had a chance to do it yet. Like I said, I got to drill holes in it and whatnot, so I'm gonna do that probably tomorrow or whenever I have more time to do so. But I just got to drill those holes in there and be fine. But it's in there pretty snug. And like I said, a lot of people with wide bodies don't put 4-inch quad tips on their car. They typically go with the 5-inch one singular round tip on there, which is fine. But I always want to do the quad tips, and I think that is a very, very, very clean look on it, man. I mean, you don't see that look at all, and the way that sits in there is perfect. Perfect, man. I know, like I said, I gotta put that back in there, which I can do easily, but that's a perfect look. And another thing with the tips, make sure when you do your quad tips, make sure to put the longer tip here on the inside versus the outside. Sometimes people put their tips on backwards and have the longer one on the outside. It looks funny. Put the longer one on the inside, shorter on the outside. You can see here, because my bumper's curved, they kind of stick out about the same amount. You can see how one's longer, one's shorter, but they stick out about the same amount. Perfect look. I'm happy with that, man. The look I wanted on my car. And like I said, wide bodies do not put quad tips on there, but I probably got one of the very few wide bodies in the world with quad tips on there. Widebody Chargers, I should say. Challengers is easy. Chargers, not so much, but you can see what we had to do to get it on there, and we got it on there. Now, I'll put the link to everything below, so that way you can get the parts you need. The tips are different. You can get whatever tips you want to get, but those are the tips I went with. I'll put the link to the diffuser below. Got it from eBay. That was the only place to find this diffuser for a wide body, eBay. I've been looking for years, and that's the first place I found it. It was on eBay. So I'll put the link below for you guys. If you got any other questions, make sure to drop a comment below. I answer any questions that you have. But that's gonna be the end of the video. Let me know what you think of this new mod. Something I've been dying to do on this car and finally got it done. So drop the comments below. And if you made this far, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Do a lot of car stuff on here like we do mods. I'll catch you on the next video. I'm out. Cut it.